Alright, good morning. This is Sunday morning coffee. You know who the hell I am by now. I know who a few of you are, so chime in. Let me know what's up. I guess at this point, find me over on Google Plus, because I'm there too. Google Plus. That's like the big tirade over the last week. Seems to straighten itself out mostly. The star attraction. There we go. Coffee. Yes, I drink coffee in a tea glass. Why the hell would you drink coffee from a 12-ounce cup when you can get a 30-ounce cup, right? And today it's brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. By the way, for store-bought coffee, they're pretty good. I can't say I'm a Folgers guy. I'm going to keep the Sunday morning coffee short. I will be loading it up via internet connection from my telephone, my hotspot. Let's see, ups and downs. You own a shop. You got your ups and downs. Right now we're down pretty hard. Okay, so what? Look what I get to do for a living. I can't exactly let money hurdle dampen my spirits, because no matter how little I make at the end of the week, my week still beats your year in most cases. Not all you fellas. Some of you fellas out there do this as well, and you know exactly what I mean. The good times are great, the bad times are awful, but no matter what, you're still playing with old cars and burning metal, and so there you go. To quote the late Lou Reed from his Metal Machine Music album, one little passage inside the cover: my week beats your year. And that's how I feel most of the time. I had lost a little bit of that spark recently. I was pretty down in the dumps, down in glum, you know, whatever. What do they say? It's no shave November. Shit, I've been doing that all year. I'll step into the Clippers maybe later today. The thing about it is, usually I hit Sunday morning coffees on Sundays before I get up and get cleaned up. So if I do step in the Clippers, you guys never see it. Let me see. I've got like 6 videos. I got 5 videos edited and put together right now. I got footage for probably 2 more videos ready to edit, put together right now. So by Sunday morning coffee next week, I should have an internet connection back that I can upload vast quantities of material from. And you folks will be 7 videos richer of material from Smith Welding. So I kind of got Sunday morning coffees back to back this week, but we did shit this week. We did a lot of shit. Let me see. I built a bracket to hold up a deck on a house, 1/2-inch plate steel, big some bitch. I didn't show that. It was a real drab and droll. We fixed some construction equipment for a friend of mine and a friend of the shops. Friend, yes. Free, no. When we had the basic ticket completed, he wanted some other shit done to it. We did it. But he's been bringing us materials and pieces and parts and things like that. Not to mention, he's got a lot more work. So he brings us stuff that, quite frankly, when I was a framer, I stockpiled and never had any purpose for it. I wound up giving away a lot of materials when I got away from framing and construction. But now all of a sudden I'm in a position I would use it. It's funny how some things turn full circle. Terry, our buddy with the Tundra, he brought us a Saab. Little known fact, they're from Sweden and they're now defunct, I guess. I don't know. Amazing what Google can give you information on. Okay, so we did a BMW for a fellow named Armin. I was calling him Simon. Armin, he buys a nice car with some problems, has it fixed up, drives it for 6 or 8 months, sells it, buys himself another nice car. Just a brief chat with him. He basically gets to drive BMWs and Mercedes, and they're all late model. They're all near a decade old, but most of those cars are very well taken care of. And if they got the slightest damage, they hold resale value for exactly shit. So he picks them up, he fixes them, he drives them, sells them. He comes out about a wash. It costs him almost nothing to drive higher end European automobiles because of the way he does it. So I gotta congratulate Armin on that. That's a hell of a good deal. I didn't show you this either. It was a boomerang. The blue Mercedes we did some rust repair on. It had little tiny bits of bubbling coming back. I've quit advertising rust repair because nobody ever wants to fix it right, and it always comes back. Rust in Iowa always comes back. It's just dependent on a timeline. Anything in under a year, you're going to have an angry customer, no matter what they did or didn't pay you for. I just quit dealing with it. Restos, it's different. You're not going to drive them every day. You're not going to put them out in the shit. And the customers, God's willing, will pay you to remove at least 90% of the rust. The rest of it you encapsulate, seal up, and move on down the road. The construction equipment was a couple videos that show it's custom fabrication. It really is. It's basic it's custom fabrication at its simplest level. Taking square tubes or round tubes or expanded metal, whatever. You're building something that wasn't there before. You got to remember, if you just simply build a shovel and a poker for your fireplace, that's custom fabrication. So don't get misled by that term. It's shit you can't just go to the store and buy parts for. So, moving on. World events and the world at large. I don't know. I don't have my internet access and my television are kind of tied into one. We don't have a digital converter box, so I don't even get local news. But it's the same shit, you know. I looked up the stats the other day. About 16% of the American population is employed by the government. 11% of the American population is on unemployment. So we're looking at 27%, almost a third of the population between unemployment and government jobs. I'm not going to beat on the guys in the unemployment. I think it's a rotten deal, a fat lot of them, especially if they're still on the unemployment rolls. They actually deserve to be there. Here's the interesting thing about your unemployment figures. Since the Reagan administration, they re-asked the question. You folks that are old enough to remember, Ronald Reagan dropped the unemployment rate dramatically just overnight. Why? How? It wasn't good policy. It wasn't great leadership. They simply re-asked the question, what is unemployed? Unemployed used to mean, prior to this, anybody that was out of work. Unemployed post-Reagan administration was anybody on the unemployment rolls. If you're receiving unemployment benefits, you're unemployed. So if we really took a look at that, I've heard figures as staggering as over 20%, 20 to 22% of America is unemployed. That's people that aren't receiving benefits or anything. You know, basically they say you can double the unemployment rate as it stands. Then you've got SSI, you've got retirees. And I can't really clump retirees into this, but I have to fiscally because Social Security got dumped into the general fund years ago. They've been robbing our Social Security. There's math out there. There's pages that show you the math. The money you put in, if you'd put into a reasonably yielding trust or money market, well, let's just say you get a hell of a lot more than $1,000 a month upon retirement. So they're stealing from us. They sell bonds, American bonds, for raising money, and it's a big Ponzi. The federal government is running the largest scale Ponzi scheme ever. Bernie Madoff hasn't got shit. And what our government is falling off. Okay, let's just get that straight. So, okay, what does it mean? What it means is somewhere near half the population, somewhere near half the motherfuckers out there, through legitimate means or hook or crook, aren't contributing to the actual GDP. The GDP is the gross domestic product. That's how we rate if we have money or not. Somewhere close to half the American populace are taking from the system rather than putting into the system. When you get numbers that staggering, there isn't going to be growth, there isn't going to be economic gain, there isn't going to be anything. We're going to stagnate. And some argue we're hearing the death rattle of a nation right now. So, I got a little political, I got a little economic. The economic environment right now is absolutely for shit for starting businesses, small businesses and otherwise. Historically speaking, it's not quite supposed to be this way with the Democratic commander-in-chief, the Democrat commander-in-chief. Historically, small business and the like are, quote, supposed to find a rate of growth in the rule of a Democrat president. Well, I ain't looking for nothing from them. And you shouldn't either. As far as I'm concerned, they're all fucking crooks and thieves and worse. And they don't like any of us. They don't care about any of us. I'm not going to dig into history and economics any further. But that just is. I want to touch on some outside world subject for a second and allow you all to bask in my ignorance of the greater subject. There's a lot about that particular arena I don't know, but there's quite a bit I do. Quite a bit I understand, quite a bit I see and realize every day. So you can register with Google Places, and what it'll do is you register with them, they send you a little piece of mail. You come back with basically a PIN number, and they hook you up with a Google Place on, in Google Places, which then in turn brings you up for free on Google's search engines when you're looking up something of subject matter, whatever you defined your place. If it's a place of business or whatever. I'm still waiting for my piece of mail from Google, and it's been, month and a half now. As soon as I do, I'll be on Google Places. I'll be involved in the search engine on there. So you got these cocksuckers wanting to sell you placement on Google search. You can get your own. There's a lot of little marketing things you can do as a small business owner that are free. Facebook, Craigslist, Google, webs.com. You can build a website. Write all your shit down. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I got my username and password correct, and they still can't find me in their system. So the Smith Welding Restoration on webs.com. is going to remain the same for a while. I may change that. I may get a hold of customer services, have them wipe that out and start over. I don't know. I'm going to try my damnedest to get that website name so it can be searched, because I've already put it into so many different aspects to be searchable. Doesn't really matter. I've only got 58 hits on that website, and I'm guessing 30 of them are mine, just seeing how many hits I've gotten. I'm a fucking child. Oh, gave the dogs baths yesterday. Oh. Collie still's up to his bullshit. I just had to clean up dookies in the kitchen because that's where they're stuck. Hard surface floor. After he went outside and ran around, he came inside and pooped. So I had to correct him there. Maybe if they come in at night, this will happen a few more times, but I can get him beat of the habit. If I can get him beat of the habit of going indoors, I can take him back to the shop. They're not a problem down there, especially when it's cold and the doors are shut. But that's kind of my little world. That's kind of what's going on. I think Jeremy, my partner's feeling the stress of business ownership. He's not a marketer, he's a doer. So he gets left doing while I'm doing this stuff. But he's learning. It's amazing how good of a marketer you can become overnight when you get hungry. Oh, wow, what else? UH ... I say it a lot. It is one of the most annoying fucking words in the American language. But there it is. Let me see. We're welding up some more construction equipment probably next week. We'll finish up the Saab next week. We're cranking away on the Chevelle. Here's a couple panels I've got to do a blend on. I have bleed through of the primer. Makes me a sad panda. But we will address them and move on. I'm not gonna let shit like that ruin my day anymore. I check my attitude at the door at the shop. I check my attitude at the door at home. I leave shop baggage there. I leave the household baggage here. I move on. I have to separate the two categories. Coming into the snowy season, we can do insurance work now, so we'll see how that turns out. Last year in February I shut down. It cost too much money to heat my little shop out back, and I couldn't afford to work. We got jammed up. I couldn't get to the restorations. Well, we're getting to the restorations now. That makes me feel good. Until next time, my friends, you have a great day. Check in, sound off, give me some subjects, man. If you want to hear my mindless ramblings on a subject, shout out here through, I guess it's Google Plus now. Hit me up on the Facebooks, whatever. Call me. Fuck, you got my phone number. I do have some folks call me with questions about automobiles. Feel free. I really always try to make time for people. So, that being said, give me some subjects. I'm running out of shit interesting to talk about. Give me something I have to actually research and form an opinion on. How's that? You ask me about thermodynamics or thermonuclear devices, I'm out. I don't have a head for math, not higher math. And that's okay. I don't need it.